Well, the markets are trading today. Now, some of the federal offices are closed down today, but the markets are working, although they will be having in a bit of a abbreviated session today. They'll be closing around noon Central Time today in Chicago. So, going to cram a lot of stuff into a short trading period today. And then, of course, all markets will be closed tomorrow. And then we'll come back in next week, and they'll kind of do the same thing over again, except on New Year's Eve, they will not have a short trading session. They, in fact, will have a full trading day on New Year's Eve. Just wanted to give you a heads up about that. A lot of folks need to get their year-end transactions done, so they operate on a full trading schedule on New Year's Eve. So what's going on in the markets right now? Let's take a look at our corn market here, and with our quotes provided by Bar Chart, things are just barely moving at all. We have seen the market maybe a quarter of a cent lower. We've seen it a little bit higher. Right now we have March trading a penny higher, and we're at 448 and a quarter. The entire trading range, including last night and this morning, only 3 cents wide on the corn. So extremely quiet there. Now on the soybean trade, we have January currently 4.5 cents higher. We're at 1263 and a quarter. But that's a far cry from where we were overnight when we got as high as 1274 and a quarter. So we're 11 cents off of that now. Still higher on the day, but way off of our earlier high. There for a while, it looked like it was going to take off and run. So far, it has not. On the wheat market in Chicago, March is down 2.5 cents at 627 and a quarter. Now overnight, it had been higher. We had been as high as 633 and three quarters. So it's turning around and backing up a little bit. In Kansas City, wheat marches down a quarter of a cent at 587 and three quarters. So very quiet in that market now. And in Minneapolis spring wheat trade, well, it doesn't get any more quiet than that. March is unchanged at 580 per bushel. Now the deferred contracts are a little higher. July new crop up a penny and a half. Let's call on Brian Hoops of Midwest Market Solutions and talk about the markets from his perspective here a little bit. Brian, thanks for joining us. Merry Christmas Eve to you, if you will. Talk to me about this grain market activity here. I've been watching the soybean trade, and it just went scooting on higher overnight. And so far today, it just has done nothing but erode off of those nightly highs.
Yeah, good morning, and Merry Christmas to you as well, Marlon. Soybeans kind of have acted like that the last couple of days, where we put in a large premium in the overnight. Then during the day session, we kind of either see some profit taking or markets really cannot extend those gains. We saw that yesterday where we had about 11-cent gains in the night session. And then during the day, kind of traded a little higher, traded a little lower, and then settled right back at that 11-cent higher mode. We could be looking at similar type of action today where we are seeing a little profit taking. It kind of started off in the corn market as corn did not make new highs, and that lack of momentum told the trade, maybe let's take a few profits here, get to the sidelines ahead of the long weekend. Markets close 12:05 today and don't reopen again until Sunday evening. Some of the forecasts are a little bit wetter for Argentina, and that has some people looking to take some profits as well. But, overall, the trend is still stronger, even if we get a little setback between now and the new year. People should look at that as a buying opportunity, looking at the January supply and demand report, possibly being very bullish, and then also looking at the tight stock situation that we have here in the United States. We haven't alleviated that, and it will be several months before we're able to even start talking about possible rebuilding of our ending stocks.
Just wanted to point out on the U.S. dollar index right now, we have the March futures currently down 115 points. We're at 90.225. Got just about down to 90 even there at one point, but kind of bounced off of that just a little bit. Still a little weakness in the dollar. We're talking with Brian Hoops. We'll come back in just a moment. We'll take another look at our livestock trade as we get ready for the Christmas break. We'll be back right after this. Let's go back to Brian Hoops of Midwest Market Solutions and talk a little livestock trade. Well, we had the quarterly hogs and pigs report that came out yesterday. It seemed to be kind of a non-event. Basically, the numbers were about 1% lower than the previous reporting period in all categories except for the kept for breeding, which was down 3% from a year ago. But Brian, other than that, in the livestock sector, I noticed where we had very active movement on our livestock summary in the cash cattle trade yesterday. Wow, we had about 15,000 head that sold in Kansas, about $2 higher than what we had a week ago, huh?
Yeah, we sure did. That's a really nice Christmas surprise, I think. Trade kind of came into the week thinking a rebound in the box beef would give us higher cash trade, and then had a little bit of disappointing news on Monday and a little sell-off. But markets came roaring back, a very low type volume session for cattle. But Packers did make an effort to pay up for the cash markets this week, couple dollar higher values. And that comes despite a little bit larger show list numbers. So very positive. I thought that the Packers in a holiday shortened kill week would pay a couple dollars higher to secure inventory ahead of the holiday.
Well, let's look at our live cattle futures here provided by Bar Chart, and we have February now 22 cents lower at 114.50. They had been as high as 114.90, so at that point they would have been about 20 cents higher. So it's kind of give and go here. April down 17 cents at 118.52. On the feeder cattle market, you now have the January contract 17 cents higher at 140.45. All the other months weaker. March down just a nickel at 141.90. And in the lean hog market, you now have the February contract 30 lower at 67.55. All the deferreds are higher, 12 to 50 cents further on out. Well, Brian, thank you for all the help now and all through the year. Appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you and the family. Brian Hoops, Midwest Market Solutions. John, back to you.